All right, we're back here at the MGM getting ready for UFC 91. Another one of the guys who actually got I don't know if it's the break he wanted the way it happened because someone had to back off the card, but now you're on the main card and Tamdan McCrory is here with us. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Just getting ready to do my thing.
Yeah. It's a unique character, I'll say that. I was dying to do this interview because you're a little different than the typical fighter. You've been told that before, right?
Yeah, I don't really look that tough, and nobody believes that this is my day job. So I guess, guess I'm interesting in that respect.
What do people back in? You're still training in New York, right?
Yes.
What do people in New York say? Do they know the sport? And then when you tell them you're a fighter, they're like, huh?
It depends, man. You get a few people know me, not very many. Basically, in my hometown, man, I'm just like an average Joe, so it's not like I get people coming up and signing autographs all the time or anything like that. You know, my whole county has 15,000 people in it, so, it's not really a big deal out there. Plus, it's not legal, so it's not like you can go down and see fights on the weekend and you'll actually, like, know fighters or something like that. Nobody really around there does it that much or at all, besides myself and, the people that I train with. So, it's not really like a big deal out there, I guess.
It's kind of amazing because UFC and MMA is exploding, and yet it's still kind of a Midwest and really West Coast-based sport. I'm from New Jersey, and you can fight legally there, but it's smaller promotions. UFC's been there a couple times, Newark and Atlantic City, but I don't think people realize what's going to happen when Philadelphia, New York, Boston, and maybe a little more New Jersey starts to get live UFC events. It's going to blow up to a ridiculous level because of the money out there and the population.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got my start fighting in New Jersey and in Massachusetts. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of potential out there. Got to fight in New Jersey, in the smaller promotions. Then it was kind of cool being there for the UFC that they had there a year ago. So, yeah, I mean, the market's going to be huge out there. As soon as it gets legalized, as soon as they start having fights, I think it's going to really explode in that area, and it's going to be, quite profitable for everybody.
All right, so you're only 22. What was your athletic background? Because first of all, you can see I'm not a tall guy, but he goes 6'4" and he weighs in at 170 pounds. First time I saw you, I think it was down in Florida at the event against Pete Spratt, and I'm like, this guy must have played basketball in high school. You had to be some kind of athlete.
Yeah, I suck at basketball. Not even good at all.
Were you good at anything?
I was a fair wrestler. I mean, I was probably like average. I had a winning season my senior year, I guess, you know what I mean? So, I won a couple tournaments and, I did pretty well in freestyle and Greco. So I guess that's, my background. I didn't really continue that into college, and yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it.
So how does it come together like 4 or 5 years later that you're a submission specialist when I'm imagining you didn't train a whole lot of that stuff as a teenager, did you?
No, man, actually it was like 2 years later. When I started fighting, I graduated in '04 and I started training in '06, so it's not like it was a crazy time off. But, in that time, I went from, I was a lot smaller and, I actually kind of started growing in my body. I actually turned 22 last Wednesday, so, happy birthday or whatever, right? Ready to get this fight over with so I can celebrate. But, yeah, man, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
Wait, so you filled out?
Yeah. I walk around at like 200. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not some scrawny pipsqueak anymore. I mean, I definitely diet down and have to get the whole weight cutting thing. I've got it on lock though. So eventually I plan on probably moving up to 85. I mean, I'm still growing. I mean, I'm definitely bigger than I was a year ago. And, as I gain that man strength, as they say, I'll be bumping up in the weight classes. But for now, I'm sticking at 170.
Good. I hope you get the man strength because I don't have it still, and I'm pushing 40. So, see, I think it's interesting that you'd want to move up because I think it's a kind of a cool advantage at 6'4". Any person who's like 6 foot at 170 or even down to 55, it gives you such a weird dynamic on the ground because especially with your legs, you can be in guard and the guy is always in danger because you're like a octopus down there,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not trying to gain weight by any means. I'm trying to be as big as I can for my weight and my frame and still be able to make 170. So, if it happens that I grow so much, I have a pretty large frame. So if I fill into it and I get over that cusp where I'm walking at 215 and 220 and it's not going to happen anymore, you know what I mean? Then I'm just going to be forced to go up. But I at least got another couple of years at 170, and I want to stay at it because obviously there is that advantage of having the reach, and you know, I'm fighting a lot smaller, shorter guys, and I want to be able to exploit that for as long as I can.
Now, what kind of fighters do you like to be matched up against? Because I know every guy will say, I can take the fight anywhere. But when you have a certain strength, I'm sure like Pete Spratt is a dream fight. Pete's a good fighter, but he's not a real good ground guy. This is one of those matchups where it's like, okay, I get a nice matchup against Dustin Hazelett, but he's kind of good at a lot of the same things I do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't really have like that, oh man, I wish I could fight this type of guy or whatever, man. I mean, it's just, you know, it's who they tell me to fight, man.
Right.
Honestly, I don't really pick and choose, man. I mean, there's pros and cons to each, and it's like you're gonna have to fight everybody sooner or later, man. There's no real, hey, let me fight that guy because he's a striker, or hey, let me fight that guy because he's a grappler, or he's a wrestler, let me fight him. You know, it's just whatever, man. It's just a fight's a fight, no matter what. You see guys that have no striking knocking out, you know, I mean, you see Gabriel Gonzaga knocking out Crow Cop, you know, you see, you know, Randy knocking down Tim Sylvia, you know, anything can happen, so it doesn't really matter to me, honestly. It's just the fight is a fight.
I think there may be some kind of conspiracy, honestly, in UFC, because I'm looking at your matchups, and I think I may be next. I can't make 170, and I can't fight, but this nerd division is really taking off, because even Gono is kind of nerdy for a Japanese guy. I mean, Luke Kumo, I mean, I got sometimes a little bit of a monobrow. Kumo has, that's absolutely, he has nothing. I mean, it's one eyebrow. Pete Spratt, not really geeky. I won't say he is, but even Hazelett, you guys actually kind of look like each other. So what's going on here? Is there some evil plan behind the scenes with UFC?
When you find it out, you tell me, man. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've been proposed matchups. I don't really, you know, turn anything down, unless, you know, like the time I took off to graduate college. So, I mean, honestly, just
you know, I'm kidding, of course. Yeah, obviously, they're not matching up. I know you pride.
I don't know. No. You know, whatever they got working in their heads can be, you know, good for them. You know, I mean, I'm not.
It's a big marketing plan. They're like, look, even these guys who don't look like fighters, they're a great fighter. You can be a great fighter too.
Maybe they just don't want me fighting the big tough guys because then I'll make all the big tough guys look like wusses when I beat them or something like that. I don't know, man. If I beat up on the other geeks, it's like not as much of a right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you might have something there. Yeah. Hey, why not be the best at something, right?
I be the toughest geek out there, man. I got it.
There you go. So how cool is it now? You've been on big cards before. Have you been on the pay-per-view portion of a card?
No, I've never made the main card, so this is kind of cool, kind of interesting. I never fought in Vegas before. Yeah. I haven't had the greatest experience while I've been here, but I'll leave that to another.
No, we want to find what's going on.
Dude,
tell me, because I'm a Vegas guy, so I'll defend the town. But if, you know, you might be right.
What?
You might be right. What happened?
Dude, like, you just can't find decent food at, like, I mean, like, I train pretty late because, I mean, you fight late. You train late. You get used to working out at that time. Then, by the time I'm eating my dinner, it's, like, midnight. You can't get good food anywhere. There's, like, one spot open, and, like, it's just, like, stuff like that.
Like, tasty food or healthy food?
Oh, like, yeah, like, healthy food. Like, I can go to the burger joint anytime and stuff my face. I can go to, you know, Hooters and get wings or whatever, or get bar food all day. But, you know, I mean, I have to eat the right things. Like I said, you know, I diet down hardcore. I'm on a strict diet and, you know, water load and all that stuff just so I can make weight, man. And being out here and, you know, having this junk or not being able to eat, you know, or walking around for 2 hours trying to find a place to eat when you're starving and you're trying to hit your meal times and stuff like that. I mean, my strength and conditioning guy has it down to a science. So it's like when I'm not doing that, it's like, you know, my body knows it's reacting to it, man. I get pissy and, you know, I'm almost getting a fight on the strip just because I can't get some food in me, you know what I mean? But, nah, it's just, you know, whatever, man, I guess. It's not my favorite city to fight in. It might be my favorite city to party in, though. I haven't seen that yet. I'm trying to figure that out. Hopefully, the plan is, you know, get a good win and hopefully pick up some girls or something like that. I don't know, man. We'll go get partying Saturday night.
That's actually a real good point. That's another investigative piece we can do is the guys who don't look like fighters, do you still get the groupies? I'm guessing yes, you do. Believe me, we've seen baseball players who are horrendous. Bill Walton was a travesty when he was a young guy, and I guarantee Bill Walton was swimming in it. So believe me, you're fine.
Dude, if I had my corner guys down here with me, I mean, I live with, like, my best friend. We have an apartment together. He knows that I never get girls, ever. I'm working on it, though, all right? they just don't buy this. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not a prick. I'm just a regular, nice Joe that doesn't look tough or nothing, man. I don't know.
Say you're a fighter. That works.
I try, dude. They
Brag
don't believe
about it.
They don't believe it.
Put them in a hold.
I should, man. I should choke some bitches out, and then I'll have like. Sorry, you're gonna have to bleep that. I don't know, man.
No, I think maybe the violence against women thing we might want to bleep, but yeah, you know what? If
It was a joke.
yeah. Well, of course. If if they deserve it, they whatever.
I'm a gentle guy.
Yeah.
Right?
So the main event. What do you think's gonna happen?
God, why does everybody ask me this one? I don't want to.
Because it's kind of a big fight, and you're a fighter, and you have some expertise, so that's why we ask.
Like, you know, as long as everybody respects that everybody has their own opinion and doesn't think I'm a dick, but I see, you know, if you look in the past, Randy's has had a hard time with the bigger guys. Not only bigger guys, he's got a big, strong wrestler who he's bigger than him physically, and he has the same strengths as him. You know, but like they say, Randy's always got a good way to come up with a good game plan. He's ring savvy. He's got the experience on him. I think it's gonna be a tough fight, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna lean towards Brock only based on the size level that he has, not necessarily the skill, because I believe that as all around skill, Randy's gonna have it, but how he's gonna be able to deal with the monstrosity that is Brock Lesnar is yet to be seen, and we'll see if he's made that adjustment since earlier in his career.
All right, good deal. Thanks.
Definitely, man. Thanks for having me.